guys for coming and for being so patient. I'm Marnie Ryan, the Executive Director. I think everyone here, I know everyone, I think, pretty much, or I've met, so newly people. But being our annual meeting, I'm going to invite our board chair, Mr. Greg Stevens, to come on up. He's going to go over a few particulars.
Welcome to this great meeting. And I'm going to ask for a motion to approve the minutes from last year. They're available over on this table here. And then we're going to look at the financials. Marnie's going to go over them, and then we'll approve those. And I might make a few comments too. So Bob German's moved to approve the minutes and is seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Minutes are approved. Okay, in financial matters, I think we have that as financial highlights. Marnie, if you want to kind of go over that.
These are just the financials from the 2016 fiscal year. We have copies always at Access TV. If you ever want to see that, you certainly can. And if you have any questions, please just make sure you contact me. But one of the things is about the condensed balance sheet and assets, and as far as our amounts in petty cash, we have $175.34, and our sunflower operating with $121,555.51, and our money market account we have $5,053.29. In PayPal, we have $233.26, making the total assets $127,017.40. And this is as of, I should have specified, by the end of December 31st, 2016, if I didn't make that known. As far as we have a UMB credit card payable, $315.62. Our Balboa Capital note, we have $12,074 and $12,000. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, I can't read. $12,000.74 or 44 cents. Okay, I can't even say this. Retirement plan, $814.45. Payroll taxes, $1,489.41. So our current liabilities is $14,693.92. As far as our net assets unrestricted, it's $112,323.48. So the total liabilities and net assets, $64,149.16. Where we get our dollars mostly is from the city revenue. One thing, of course, it's the largest, is $268,358.08. County revenue, the last couple of years pretty much never changes. It's $15,000. We do have fluctuations with our city revenue based upon the number of cable subscribers that they get. Membership varies. Our membership this last year was only $45, and if you have any questions about that or wonder why, is we adopted out last year still of not having membership, but we had a few people that still just paid membership anyway. They wanted to. Sponsorship revenue is zero because we changed how we handle that. Instead of sponsorship, we moved to more of producer underwriting. And if you notice, producer underwriting is much larger. We didn't have any grants or anything last year. We had about $900 in monetary contributions. In government reimbursement dollars, course fees, we had $100. Merchandise duplication sales is $380. Production services was $2,175. So our total revenue was $291,583.54.
Okay, one other thing I would add to the financial report is that we did an audit. The audit was completed last year. There are copies on the table over there. Klubein and Readily did this. Valerie Linenberger was the auditor that did it. She did give a report to our board, and if anyone has any questions, there are suggestions for some improvements in our audit, and we're going to probably take those pretty seriously, but there are copies over here on the table. So if there aren't any questions about the financials, I will entertain a motion to approve them. Ann Knowles has moved. Bob German is seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. So the next thing I want to make a couple comments about is kind of give you a little president or chairman's report. And my chair, Stephen said, is over here. And I appreciate the opportunity to have served as chair for Access for the last couple of years. As you know, I will not be serving in the coming year, and my reason for doing this is I've taken on some other responsibilities that are going to take up quite a bit of my time. I believe in passing leadership around. I've done this for 2 years. I've enjoyed doing it. I've enjoyed working with all you board members as well as people in the community. I'm proud of some of the progress that we've made. And we've got such a good board that I thought now's the time to get out of the way and let some of these good board members take it to the next step. And I'm still going to be around. I'm going to stay on the board and maybe start focusing on some other things too, because I think we could get more grants, and it's kind of hard to be the chair and to be working on those kinds of things. And also, I'm interested in promoting more producer activity. Producers are part of the staff of this organization in some ways, because if it's a volunteer organization, you have our paid staff that do a good job. But we also have all these people from the community that come in, and I'm hoped to be one of those people. Continue making shows. I did one a month last year, so I did more than 12 shows. I want to maintain that productivity, but also try to help producers in ways that we'd be helping staff, because that's the lifeblood of a volunteer organization, is when we get people in the community that see the value of what's possible here. And there's a lot of value that's kind of untapped potential. And we got a lot of good people in the community that I think would, like I mentioned earlier in the interview with Steve, that I think would take advantage of this resource as we start making it more visible and helping people understand how they can use it better. So, are there any questions from the membership? So, I look forward to whoever steps up as the new slate of officers, which we'll address later on in our meeting. That concludes my report. There is a new business item that we need to take care of, and should we do that now?
Yes.
Okay. So the new business is that we have modified the bylaws. Copies of the bylaws are on the table, and one of the things in the bylaws that is stated is that if any proxy voting is changed and it's mostly for the annual meeting, that it has to be brought before the annual meeting. And so the board and our policy and procedure committee, bylaw committee, decided to bring the bylaws to the full membership for approval. So let me just make a couple comments about the bylaws. Every organization over a period of time is put in a position to have to review their documents, and so that's something that we've done this year. A couple things that we've made changes on is the membership qualifications, and that being individual, organizational, and student. Those will be the membership categories going forward. We also combined some sections, but which really didn't change anything, and we will allow email straw voting and email voting for committee meetings to help facilitate more efficiency. for proxy voting, when board members are excused from a board meeting, we will allow proxy voting for a board member. That gives them a voice in the event that they had something else that caused them to be excused. We will not allow proxy voting for annual meetings. We're going to start producing the producer list, publicizing the producer list, so it might be easier to find producers for shows. The secretary will be posting information. We've done a lot better job with transparency. Our survey shows that on a scale of 1 to 10, people are giving us an 8 now, and that's jumped up 2 points from the past. For transparency of documents on the web page, so that's thanking Aaron for doing a good job there, and also Mike has done a good job in posting information there. We've changed the language in the bylaws to become more inclusive. Hadn't been reviewed for quite a while. We've updated some minor items related to grammar, punctuation, and things like that, but no significant changes, but the kind of the regular modification that needs to be done over a period of time. So I'd like to call for a motion to approve the bylaws. Stephen Cook has made a motion has moved to approve the bylaws. Is there a second? Charles Ross is second. Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion to, hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Didn't want to make a motion twice, did we? So, motion is approved. And that concludes my report. Marnie?
I felt like I should just announce the board of directors, even though like you're all here pretty much for the most part, but our board of directors, again, our chair is Greg Stevens. Charles Ross is our vice chair. Ann Knowles is our treasurer, and Mike Wilson's our secretary. And then the regular members are Stephen Cook, Peggy DeBay, Bob German, Tim Gran, Paul Green, Mark Jackson, and Steve Pope. I wanted to, though all of you know, recognize our awesome staff. I don't know if they all can at least come to the window and wave, or if they want to come up and say something real quickly, but I'm Marnie Ryan. You know who I am, hopefully. I've been the executive director since October of 2013, and I'm very grateful I get to work with a great group of people. This man who, well, I'm pointing to you. Aaron Carter is our operations manager, if you'd like to say a few words.
I'm the operations manager for Access Television. I've been here for 4 years. I'm going to have 5 years this year. Started off kind of rocky when I started here. We had a lot of issues, had to work through that. We are pretty well running now in our boat that we have. We do have sometimes problems, so we work through those and get it done. And for the most part, everybody that works here, we get along pretty well, and we do what we can to make everything work.
Hi, I'm Dean Kunda. I am the part-time production assistant, film government meetings, do all kinds of things, mostly try to help with audio problems. I've been here for 2 years, 3 years, I don't know.
You got hired in 2014.
Okay, 2014 I was hired, so thank you.
James Curtis, nickname is Cash, that's what most people will call me. Director of Programming and Community Relations, so basically I program Channel 21, do the promos as far as access, and just reach out to the community. And I'm a producer of The Scene, and I am the pepper to the salt of the staff.
Thank you guys very much. I always like to kind of show programming numbers for the end of the year. Just the total number of shows on both channels combined is 952. And then one of the reasons, if you happen to look and think, some of these numbers don't seem to totally add up when we go through the rest of them, these are all numbers. We break it down later into just local content, locally produced, but these totals have canned meaning pre-produced as well. But the Channel 20 doesn't have nearly as much content as 21. Public access had almost 1,000 shows, which is great. For 2016, we had 334 new shows, so locally produced new shows. And these are just kind of the numbers. And it kind of varies sometimes, whether we try to have our categories exactly the same as what's on the program proposal. Government, a lot of times, is pretty high. It just kind of, it varies from year to year and different producers. We do have a lot of PSAs. One of the reasons we use a lot of PSAs is try to promote access more, and also it's a good tool for a lot of our interns. And then those are just in addition to the government meetings. We 12 educational meetings, school board meetings a year, and Gov Local is some of those just different meetings, different government entity meetings that we have. Excuse me. As far as classes, we had 18 producer-oriented classes this year. We had 15 camera classes and 10 editing classes. And we had 50 new volunteers. And we always want to see that increase, and we, of course, want to see our classes increase. A lot of times we have some volunteers that like to just help with, maybe it's River Festival or something like that. But again, that's definitely on our goals and our 3-year goals, and that's always going to be our goal to increase that. So just wanted to share those numbers with you. Does anybody have any questions real quick? Anyone? Well, we're very sad because we have 3 board members that are leaving us. Their terms are up, and so it would be Mr. Charles Ross. Shame on you for leaving. Just kidding. Miss Peggy DeBay, she couldn't be here. She is ill. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here. And then Mr. Mark Jackson. So first of all, can we give them a round of applause? Thank you for, you're serving. And ironically, these 3 all ran again. And there was one additional individual that ran for our board.
The results of the election, after calculating the votes which were cast, is as follows. Charles Ross received 24 votes. Peggy DeBay, 20. Mark Jackson, 18. James Lowe, 16. There were 3 ballots that were disqualified. Any questions?
Okay, well, congratulations to the people that are back on the board, newly elected. Hey. Woohoo! And then unless anybody has any questions or anything else, do you want to say anything else?
I think that concludes our annual meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn? Steve moves to adjourn. Is there a second? Charles second. All in favor, say aye. Meeting's adjourned.